I learned a long time ago that reason leads to conclusion and emotion leads to action. You really got to have both parts. You got to capture people from a reason standpoint that they got to think, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But then also you have to capture them from an emotional standpoint because that's really the trigger that's going to get them to take action. And so I was reminded of this idea on my recent podcast with top advisor Dan Moysan. And he said that most financial advisors have some kind of process that they work their clients through. And that certainly is a good practice to do. But where he really added to it was, he said, not only do we have a process, but we also explain to our clients how we expect them to feel at the end of each stage of the process. So I think that's a great insight in the conversation that I had with Dan. I'd encourage you to think about that as well. So for each stage of your process, when you're having your conversation with your prospect or with your client, you explain to them, when we go through the process, for example, we have a data gathering process. We're going to gather some information from you. We're then going to use that to put together a net worth statement. And then what Dan says is, he will say something like, and at the end of that process, you're going to feel like you have a better understanding of where your money's coming from, where your money's going, and you've got better control over it. So he makes it clear, this is the process, and this is how you're going to feel at the end of it. So I think that's a great insight from my conversation with Dan Moysan.